Warning, Supernatural The Crossroads contains adult language and discussions. If you're easily offended, do not continue to listen.
Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad.
I went to the crossroads. Fell down on my knees.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Supernatural The Crossroads. It's been a couple weeks for us.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
A long time.
For a couple different reasons. Primarily, it was the Olympics screwing up watching Supernatural for 2 weeks.
Stupid Olympics.
Dude, they had so many problems with
I know.
like toilets not done, or you know.
I saw the pictures, dude. It was actually really
like
funny.
don't use this water on your face.
In Russia, we wait to the last minute.
Exactly. So the Olympics screwed us up a bit. We've also been in a transitionary period, I'd say, for our production company.
Yeah.
So that's going to be relaunched essentially in April.
We
right?
were because we had the program director of Cazator Radio. He basically resigned, and it kind of put me in a state of panic. So I had to rebrand a few things and let a few things go.
And if you guys have never seen Mike panic,
Oh boy, it's an ugly thing.
It's a scary thing.
So what we're gonna do is we had to rebrand, and hopefully by by May we will have a new brand for the network. We just got to let a few things go. Good thing is though, it's going to let us focus a little bit more on the quality of the new brand.
Right.
And Supernatural, much like the TV show went from WB to CW. We're going from Cazator Radio to something new as well.
Exactly.
We'll be the only show that has transitioned over.
Oh, boy.
Because all the other shows I let go, and we're starting a couple new ones.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, the show's still going to be the same, guys, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yep. Nothing's going to change.
And if you listen to Thomas Cowley's Play It or Slay It, you guys are. I let my people go.
Not to be
we're
humble
using
or
we're using a
anything,
lot
but
of analogies
basically
here.
Moses.
Because I had to end what we currently were doing. I allowed the Brian and Thomas who do the Play It or Slay It show. You guys will still be doing that on your own thing.
Right, and that's also going to show up again in April, I think, is the current goal.
Well, keep me updated, because I'll promote.
Oh, yeah, dude, definitely. Okay, so first, I guess you guys want to talk about this battle within the fandom. I mean, Mike, you might need to explain that a little bit to me, because I never knew that.
Yeah, well, I never knew it either, because
I didn't either.
I've never none of us really
Okay,
were.
see, that's weird.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
As we've said before, we're Supernatural buffs, big time, but we never were involved in the fandom, meaning the internet and
The fan fiction,
Right, we
and
weren't.
stuff like
we
that.
never really got involved in all that. We just liked the show, and now
alone.
that we're doing the show, we're kind of been introduced into the online fandom,
Right.
And there's a lot of people.
There's sides, dude.
Yeah, and there's sides to it. And
Where do you stand?
And one of the things that we get the most is that the people appreciate about our show is that we're not opinionated based on, meaning we're not biased, I should say. Meaning we like Sam and we like Dean, and I guess that there's the other shows that are out there. They a lot of times they'll be Dean people, and the whole show's about how they love Dean and they don't like Sam, and vice versa.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I don't know if you're a fan of a TV show.
Shouldn't you
like both of them?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I mean, there's things that may irk you sometimes, but that's what they have to do. They have to write. So there's some things that Dean might do where you're like, I don't know if that was a good idea, Dean. And then you do the same thing with Sam. I don't know if that was a good idea, Sam.
Right.
But that's what writing the writers have to write drama. Well, I mean, you can't hate.
I relate drama.
I relate it to Star Wars a lot. It's like you're either most people are like, we're either Jedi or Sith. It's like, I like both, man.
Well, with Star Wars, it's more like original or
yeah.
Well,
wrong.
yeah. Oh, yeah, right. But the thing is, like, even though people hate on the prequels, I still like them.
Yeah.
So
like
it's kind of the same thing with the show. It's like I never knew that some people either really love Dean or just absolutely hated Sam. Like I didn't know that.
Well, dude, and I guess based on every time throughout the history of Supernatural, whenever the brothers are fighting on the show, the fandom's fighting. Like they fight with each other, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Sam's better. No, Dean's better.
That's kind of cool.
It is cool. It's cool that a show can get that much of like emotions and support of each character.
It's cool, but it's also really funny.
Listen,
too.
we have to remember. Listen, we love these guys, but we got to remember, guys, that they're fictional characters.
Yes.
And the reason why I say this is because there's people that like even with Breaking Bad. I remember reading an article where what's the woman that plays Bryan Cranston's wife in that show?
Her actual name?
I forgot who she. What's her character
name?
name? What's her character name? Do you remember? Anyways,
Mrs. White.
Mrs. White. Yeah.
In Breaking Bad, I remember she said she had to hide from the public eye for a couple of years. Skyler. She had to hide from the public eye for a couple of years because she would get tweets saying, "Hey, you're an effing bitch," and she's all like, "Wait a second, I'm an effing bitch," and she's all, "Your character in Breaking Bad." She tweeted, she's like, "You realize."
It's a fictional
character I'm portraying because the writers are writing me that. I'm like, why are you calling me on my personal Twitter?
Think about the tweets then that the kid that plays Joffrey on Game of Thrones
gets the same thing.
It's like, God, man.
And I'm like, dude, it's an actor, guys. I'm like,
it's a role.
We love the
if
roles.
If you hate him that much, then he's doing his job correctly.
Yeah. No, my whole thing with that has always been like, if I ever met the kid who plays Joffrey, it's like, I love you because I hate you so much.
Yeah, you're
he
that
does a great
good.
job as a piece of shit. So.
And I'm not saying the fans shouldn't take sides. Take sides.
No,
it makes the show fun and it makes the fandom more interesting.
I don't take a side. Dean is my favorite. I like Dean more than I like Sam, but I still love Sam.
You know
I'm
what?
50-50, man. It really depends.
Yeah,
really, right
dude,
down the middle.
I'm like a father with his sons. You
right.
know? You can't really like one more than the other. You're not supposed to.
Is there a fandom
like
for Cass too? Like, is there like there's a complete different side there?
There's room in there for Bobby, and there's
room
for
fights. But he never fights. I think the only time we ever saw like sides being drawn was on season 6. What happened?
I'm hearing an interesting locust swarm in my ear.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
You too?
It was the thing.
Did
right
you guys
here.
kick some?
Yeah, I kicked some. Sorry, guys, I suck.
Playing soccer over here in the meantime. Sorry.
The only time I think we might have saw a Misha Collins fandom like go against everybody else might have been in season 6 when he was like the bad guy kind of.
He was like gone for most of it, and then he was a bad guy.
Yeah,
that whole thing where he was like, what the hell is going on, Cass? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
so people got against him then.
Yeah.
And all the people were like, we're not Cass fans.
But one thing you're never going to see in this show, and I'll just say it right now, is you're never going to hear us bash Sam. You're never going to hear us bash Dean.
No, I love the show too much. I can't hate a character like that. Yeah. You know,
I mean, even if one of them like did something horrific, like kicked a puppy, I'm like, well, it's probably a demon.
Well, I mean, it was a demon, dude. It was a hellhound.
Hellhound, or skin shifter.
We will break down, and we're going to be fair and break down what we feel the emotional side of things may be for that particular scene.
Right.
And if it happens to favor Dean after we break it down, okay. If it happens to favor Sam, then all right.
Yeah.
You know, but we're not there's no favoritism on our part.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Except that I really like Dean.
Except on Ryan's part.
Except on my.
I want to get into that a little bit more. I'm glad you bring that you like that. You actually he's your favorite because I do want to bring that up later in the show when we're going to get into some emails, Thomas.
Okay. Yeah, those are awesome.
We haven't.
I'll tell you why.
We haven't had a chance to break down the emails yet necessarily. I do the shout outs, which we're still going to do, but now I think towards the end of the show, we're going to get into a few emails that I got that actually discuss the fandom and discuss the sides of Sam and Dean that are actually very interesting. Yeah. And then we'll kind of talk, Ryan, and go in what you were saying about.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you why I like Dean more than I like Sam.
Okay.
It's fine with me.
All right.
Well, I mean, I think with that, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to go into the review on the last episode. What was it? Captives?
Captives.
Yeah. So we'll be right back.
There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
You in purgatory? Felt pure. I don't hunt anymore. I found something. Did you look for me?
Kevin Tran. Thought you could elude me forever.
God built a series of tests. When you've done all 3, you can slide the gates of hell.
Where do we start?
Kill the hound of hell. An innocent soul has to be rescued from hell and delivered unto heaven.
And the final test. To cure a demon. Abaddon, the Knight of Hell. She's gone.
My name is Naomi. We rescued you.
I was soaring ever higher.
The angel tablet.
I won't hurt Dean.
Kill him.
Or family. I have to protect this tablet now. These trials, they're purifying me. Metatron. I'm the scribe of God.
Heaven needs your help, Castiel.
I'm killing everyone you've ever sang.
Maybe we should just take the deal.
The trials, you'll give them up.
Kick it in the ass, like we always do. Are you with me?
Radio has changed our lives and possibly saved our lives.
Oh yeah! I want to tell you about Dead City Radio, man. And the new Captain, Supertown, yeah! A world of magic lands and the chemical blues.
All right, guys, we're going to go into a quick review here on Captives. I'll just read a quick synopsis. So, Sam and Dean are stunned to discover the Men of Letters bunker is haunted. Their investigation leads them to a storage facility where the demons have been keeping a prized possession. Meanwhile, Castiel is captured by Bartholomew. Ooh.
Very, very enticing.
Well, it's funny. What's funny about this, and this is when we were reading it the last time we the last show.
Yeah.
We're like, ooh, a storage facility. We're thinking that the storage facility is on site there at the bunker.
Right.
When we find out in the episode that it is not, and you're like, wait, I thought this was all in the bunker.
Dude, when I was watching this episode, I was a little confused. I'm like, I thought it was in the Men of Letters.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Completely
I was
different.
completely different.
And I thought Snooki was involved with that episode. So it was like, she's the demon monster. That
thank God somebody kill her.
Well, I got all over Twitter about it. I was like, where's Snooki?
I know, right?
I'm like, hashtag Snooksters. Where's she at?
Hashtag Snooksters.
I guess someone said because they were going on a long break, like the 3-week break, that they were giving you like a combination of all the upcoming episodes coming up.
Oh,
Right.
so she might be in another one coming up here.
She's got to be. They've already done
Joy.
stuff with that. You still get to look forward to that now.
I am extremely excited, guys.
Hey, I felt no hate. I got no hate like with Justin Bieber, like the Justin Bieber hate. Like when I started talking crap about Snooki, nobody came to her defense.
No, not at this point.
Nobody came.
Not at this point. So,
All right.
okay, so let's get some. I want some thoughts on what you guys thought about the haunting.
Okay. I got some opinions on this, but Mike, do you have anything first?
You know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm so biased when it comes to supernatural. Like I don't see things that I should probably see. I should have probably saw it was Kevin's ghost.
I kind of saw it coming, and I didn't say anything. I didn't say the last show, but I wanted to be like, okay, maybe it's not that. I want to say maybe it was something else. But then when they started hinting, well, who's the last person that died here? And you're just like, oh man.
And some fans like tweeted, "Oh, it's Kevin's ghost," or "Hey, oh, it's Kevin Tran's mom is the one who's being held captive." And I'm like, okay. I'm like, now I don't know if they release this information, if you can Google it before the show's out. Maybe you can. It seemed like everybody knew what was going to happen.
Someone always spoils something.
I stay away from anything dealing with until Tuesday. I do not pay it. I'll watch the preview before. That's it. I won't go online.
We talked about this last episode. I don't watch it at all.
I don't watch that at all.
I won't go online and look at the extended previews. I'll just look at the coming next week thing, and that is it. And I don't want to know what else is going on.
I'm privileged enough because I don't have this channel on my cable, so I watch it on Hulu Plus the next day.
Right.
So I don't get to see any of that stuff.
I mean,
so
my whole thing is I'm never going to watch previews for something I'm already know I'm going to go see.
Yeah.
Like why ruin part
well,
of
then
that?
you should stop going to movies, Thomas.
I don't watch the trailers, dude. Dude, with the screenings, it's awesome because they are no trailers.
Dang it.
I love that.
That's the best part.
I don't know. I'm not cool enough to go to those.
With the whole Kevin's ghost thing, I don't know. I felt that was kind of not badly executed, but I was like, Bobby's ghost was this whole build-up. He had a reason to stay. I liked the idea that the ghosts are stuck in the veil because heaven itself is closed. I really liked that.
I like
how many people does that mean?
I like the veil thing
right?
too. I really thought that was cool and how they did that.
Yeah.
The thing that I thought was interesting though is if you remember, Bobby's ghost took a while to figure out how to materialize. Kevin's just like materialized.
Yeah, I was like,
and it was
Kevin
like
just works it out. Is it because he's a genius? Is it just because he's got nothing else to do there?
Yeah.
I have a lot of mixed emotions and mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
I guess we can get into it. Kevin, I felt as well. It was a little rushed that he could all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Although, how long has he died? He's been dead for how many months
That's
now?
true,
Has
though.
it been
That's
months
true.
or weeks?
We just haven't seen the.
Maybe
yeah.
we haven't seen him.
Show-wise, it's been, 6 months?
Has it? Okay.
End
so,
of season 8.
Okay, so no, since he's died. No,
Well,
since
mid-season.
Was that?
Yeah, it was
That was
mid-season,
mid-season,
dude. Come
yeah.
on, it's Thomas.
Dude,
What a rookie.
I've been blurred through 9 blurs for me, honestly.
What a rookie.
So,
I also
mean,
drink
there
heavily,
could have
so-
been. He could have been trying to work on. I mean, Kevin even said, "Hey guys, if I have to listen to one more of your guys' little."
That's true. That's true. He did
so
say
he
that.
has been around. It's
Right.
not so. We just haven't seen the build up. You know.
I'm just.
It might be that, just that he's been stuck there.
I'm just happy
and
that
he's a smart kid, so he figured it out.
He is a prophet. That might have something to do with it.
I'm just happy that Dean got a little bit of closure in what what Kevin said to him, because honestly we've been seeing Dean beat himself up, and then Kevin's like, look man, stop stop being a pansy. That's basically what Kevin says. It's like, it's funny when we first meet Kevin, he is a pansy, and then as the time goes on,
I didn't like him.
and then you're like, this guy's really like, he's a badass.
You know
now.
what? I like people.
Not bad.
I like non-quitters. I hate people that quit. That's my biggest pet peeve in life.
Yeah.
I think you need to retard through life. You know what I mean? Like when life sends you a curveball, dude, you either
Take it to the face and keep going.
Yes,
Bullshit. I
that's-
sit back and wait and hit it out of the park.
And that's one thing that I like about Kevin's characters. When I first met him, I didn't like him. He was a pansy, and then the guy was tortured. I mean, that guy went through the ringer.
He went through a lot, dude.
Literally, he
Trial
went through
by
so
fire,
much,
yeah.
and he's not Sam and Dean. He wasn't raised as a hunter. Like these guys, can deal with it a lot more.
He
because
adapted quickly.
He adapted, and the guy is a tough kid.
Yeah, super tough.
Yeah, so I ended up liking his character a lot more just because he never gave up.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I want to know is who's the new prophet now, or will they bring that up?
No, well, don't you remember what Metatron said that
There will be no more
he
prophet.
flipped
Did he
a
say-
switch. He said he flipped a switch.
Did you turn that part off?
Yes,
too?
he said he flipped a switch.
butthole.
And there's no more prophet thing.
Dude,
won't
what a-
be happening.
What a dick.
I'm just happy. I kind of saw this coming too. And it's like, oh, here's Kevin. He's going to send Sam and Dean on a mission.
Yeah.
And we don't know what it is, but then you're like, oh, it's to find his mother.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I liked how they kind of wrapped that part up too, because all we had heard before was Crowley like, I don't know, did I? That,
Right,
his
yeah,
whole
right.
Crowley shit.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm really glad they brought that.
his
to
Crowley
close.
shit.
His Crowley shit, man.
It was a good, and then going back to what you said before we move on to that, is that the closure of Dean, I thought was a good element.
They did it right.
It did give Dean a little bit of closure on the fact that he can move on, knowing that Kevin's in a good spot. He's with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's dead. It kind of, and I do love the veil thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
the veil
what you
thing's
were
cool.
saying, again, Supernatural giving you those little morsels.
Those little bits
those
of
little
the lore.
saying, oh, that's cool. It makes a story that's not necessarily great, which this episode I don't think was the best episode. It
No.
was good,
No.
but I think little things like that always make it that much better for me. Just little
Yeah.
things like, oh, the veil's been closed to heaven, or no, the heaven's been closed and we're all
does,
stuck in the veil.
So does that mean here's the thing that I'm curious about, does that mean we're going to see death soon?
Now, who knows? That's
Ooh.
well,
that'd be
hold on.
cool.
Can
they go to hell?
I'm assuming they can. Hell's not closed.
No, that's open for business.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
Vacancy.
And we haven't heard from Abaddon in a while.
Yeah.
So
Well, apparently
okay, so
Crowley's-
we're way jumping ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't heard from Abaddon. Crowley's gone off the radar, it seems, too, in this
Yeah.
last week or so. But
Well, this mission that Kevin sends Dean and Sam on is a mission to what? To go find his mother. He thinks his mother may or may not be alive.
right.
So the next thing, Castiel gets captured. This was interesting.
Yeah.
I actually liked this aspect of the episode because I like Cass really a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to see him deal now that he's kind of changed. After being human, he has to deal with
See
everything
how
that
he
he's done.
reacts.
Exactly. So we learn a little bit more about Bartholomew too, which is kind of interesting.
I really liked that part.
I did too.
'Cause, like when they again, like Mike said, the little bits of lore when they mentioned Raphael, I'm like, oh, they still remember that.
Yeah,
like,
it's funny. I don't know why I get so geeked out about that too as well. But it's like when they mention something that happened in the past, and you're like, oh, okay, that's still on their mind. Like,
well, it's nice because it shows that the writers still remember, still care, which is something that the fans have been doing this
Right.
whole time. That's why I liked season 8 about halfway through. Because it brought so many things back to their dad in seasons 1 and 2.
Right.
And all that stuff, that was a big part of the show in the beginning.
I just like learning because we don't get much about the angels, and it's nice to learn a little bit more about about them. It seems like it's so weird, and I don't know if this is just me, but it seems like Castiel knows a lot of angels, like personally.
Are all like family too.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So
The thing that I like the most about the ongoing story when it comes to Castiel and the angels is they all are either in awe of him, or they're afraid of him, or they're curious about him, because he is unlike. It goes back to
He's
what I
not
said.
like any other
It goes back
angel.
to what I said in like the first episode of this show when we did this show.
yeah,
That I think there may be something more to Castiel eventually down the road. Like when they end up summing up the show, he's either going to be the new god. Officially,
God.
or he's going to end up being God. Like he is God, and he somehow doesn't remember.
That would
whatever.
be really cool.
Because why is it he is the most unique angel? Yes, he has lived on Earth with everybody else, but so has many other people. Metatron lived on Earth more than any other angel. Okay?
Right.
And also you have a lot of angels that have fallen over the years that we've been introduced into the series over the course of the 9 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and why haven't they changed? There's something uniquely different about this character.
I would be perfectly content if they said that he was God.
The
Like, that'd be
angels
awesome, yeah.
are worker bees. They're ants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Castiel does not have that worker bee mentality.
No.
He has a thought process, which many of these angels do not have.
Yeah.
They don't have a thought process. They think like an ant. Oh my God, we lost the line. Who are we going to follow next? Who is going to be our boss? Who is going to be our leader?
Mm-hmm.
And Castiel never has that mentality. He's always been about right and wrong.
Right.
Yes, he doesn't have the human emotions that he's been slowly getting. He
Right.
doesn't understand humankind that much. Yes, but he always has that thing in his mind where he's thinking. When many of the other angels don't think, they see things in black and white, and humanity, as they have painted it in Supernatural, isn't black and white.
No,
know?
no, not at all.
And I think, and that's one element about Castiel, and I think what we saw with Bartholomew opening up yet another storyline dealing with the fact that they knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's interesting. It's interesting because when Castiel finally gives the kibosh to Bartholomew, you notice the other angels are going, oh my God, like, we thought Bartholomew, holy crap, like they honestly didn't see that coming.
yeah.
And I honestly didn't see.
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
I didn't
I
see him.
didn't.
I didn't see him stabbing him. I didn't.
I thought they would be working together for a little bit.
I didn't think
and
he
I'm gonna
was
admit
that
that
character.
I'm a little disappointed that he died. I mean, he was a
He was a
cool.
good. He was a cool character.
He
Yeah.
had a cool look. He
It
had a good-
reminds me of Balthazar,
Yeah.
where it's like a cool angel that died too early. But honestly, I'm kind of glad Cass did that and didn't end up working with him, because it shows that Castiel has learned from his experience. I
That's
shouldn't
true.
trust
True, very
Crowley and Metatron and
All these people who have manipulated
everybody
me.
who's always screwed me over. He's finally starting to realize, through his experience,
But
he kind of knows what's best.
He-
I'd say at this
it's
point,
it's funny.
Humans,
It's funny because he's like he turns down the leadership, but then by stabbing him, now you are the.
If you look at this, if you want to really break it down, okay, if you know your Bible, okay, the devil offered all the riches of mankind to Jesus Christ. It says you can have power with me.
Yep.
That's the ultimate. You can enjoy all
This
these
can
things
be yours.
if you do one act of worship for me. All these things will be yours with me. And this is exactly what Bartholomew did to Castiel. Once again, showing that he's messianic, Castiel.
Yeah.
Okay, that he said, what did he say? He said he turned down power. And he says, look, we'll do things, me and you. Yes, I'm this way, but you're this way, and we can work together, and we can, get
don't
somewhere.
we both
Yeah.
want this?
Yeah. Aren't we working for the
And
same thing?
I'm glad that Castiel. I agree with you. I didn't know if I want him to die yet, Bartholomew, but
Right.
I do agree that Castiel, I think, made the right decision because number one, he knows how he acts with power. Number one.
Oh yeah, he's not very good with it.
Yes, he acts, petty, like the old god, like the gods of old. You know, he's very petty, like when he went on a murdering spree.
Yeah.
So I think but this in the long run, someone that can recognize their flaws sometimes can become the better leader down the road.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think now that maybe because he's lived as a human. And he knows what it's like to have the human qualities, and to eat food and to live with nothing.
Tastes like molecules.
Yeah. Like all that may now lead to a Castiel that is maybe in a position to lead.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing.
And be a loving leader.
I like how you brought up the Bible bit too, because it's like the writers have learned from their history, and they trying to incorporate that. I mean, I don't remember who said it exactly, but they said about George Washington in the Revolutionary Wars, like if he puts the sword down and doesn't go for like the kill, essentially, he'll be the greatest leader of all time. And that's kind of what they did with Cass here. He doesn't want to be that guy, which makes him like the perfect person to be that guy.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the one of the things that really super surprised me in this episode was Dean defending Crowley, and it's
I liked that.
I liked it too. It was awesome. But it's funny because Mike and I talked about this before you showed up, Thomas.
Right.
It's funny because he technically hasn't been the bad guy for a while now, and I think.
And well, has he ever been really the bad guy?
Yeah, like the ultimate bad. Yeah, and it's like it's funny because I foresee him becoming. This is going to be a four-way. This is going to be a four-way thing here soon, where like Castiel and Crowley and Sam and Dean are all working together, and it's going to be this huge thing. And I think I sort of called this in a couple shows ago, where I was like, look, this is going to be. It's going to be Dean and Crowley and Sam and Castiel, and they're all going to have to team up together and take out Abaddon or take out some big thing. And it's coming. I think it's coming. We're seeing it with take out Metatron or whatever. Everyone's going to
times have changed.
Yes,
like we said before, times have changed in the universe of Supernatural. It's no longer hunters versus demons, hunters versus monsters.
Not at all.
It is good
versus evil.
bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see Crowley. Yes, he's a demon, but ever since the end of last season, when you saw his humanity, he has changed.
Yeah.
Yes, he's always had respect for the Winchesters. He's always tried to help them to his benefit. But I think we're also now seeing an actual, I really do think we're seeing, yes, he's out for himself because he's still a demon, but he is. I really do think the writers are trying to make you realize that he does like Kevin. I mean, look at what they said about Kevin's mom, about how the demon, which I'm jumping ahead, we're not going to jump into too much.
That, yeah.
But, he said about protecting Kevin's mom. Look what he said about he had genuine care in his eyes when he found out Kevin died.
Yeah.
I told you guys, that they're going to get you killed.
Yeah.
I told him to get out of here. And then you see, and now Dean coming to his rescue, basically saying, I don't know, is Crowley all that bad? And Sam's disappointing glare saying, dude, really?
Right. Well, I honestly think Crowley's not a bad guy.
No.
In a way. He's a survivalist. He's only ever done what it takes for him to get to the next day or fight the bigger problem. The Leviathans, Lucifer, now Abaddon and all of them. I'd like to see, like, Ryan said, Castiel, Crowley, Sam and Dean, on one side.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Versus Malachi, Abaddon,
Dude, Motley
all
Crue,
that
dude.
shit.
It's going to be a Motley Crue, dude.
It's going to be awesome,
It's going to be that.
We have a Hulk.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, dude. It's going to be that whole, typical Motley Crue, ragtag team that's going to, get the job
It's going to be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Totally awesome.
Well, I mean, again, Crowley's not even that bad a guy because he kept...
But yeah.
Do we want to jump to that now?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because he kept Kevin's mom alive that whole
I mean,
time.
obviously he did it in a really...
But not just Kevin's mom. There were other people that he told this demon to protect. For whatever reasons, maybe he thought he can use them down the road as
right,
leverage,
bargaining chips or
whoever. But the fact that he wasn't even torturing them, that he said protect, the key word protect them.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, it seems like Crowley's always like, if you kill them, you have no options. If you keep them alive, you can either A, kill them, or B, keep them alive.
That's where the survivalist comes into play.
That's exactly where the survivalist bit comes from. Because if you have them alive, you can do multiple things based on what you need.
Right.
If you're like Abaddon and you just kill, no one's going to make deals with you anymore. No one's going to...
You're just going to kill them even after you make a deal.
Yeah. Like Dean was trying to.
Yeah.
So...
I think they are setting up, though. If we see it, like we've been seeing it for the last several episodes, they're setting up for Crowley to not be the bad guy. They really are. And they're going to show that. I think Dean and Crowley are going to become, I don't want to say friends, but I think they are going to become a little closer.
They're going to be frenemies.
Mutual respect in a way.
Yeah.
Frenemies.
Well, I mean, Dean's got the mark of Cain, so he's going darker. Crowley's part humanish, maybe, so he's going lighter.
Do you guys
They'll
think,
meet in the gray area?
Yeah, gray area. Yeah, perfect.
Do you think that's going to push Dean and Sam farther away from each other? The
Yes.
fact that
I think
Dean
it
is going to rely a little bit on Crowley, and
I think Sam is so over that dark period that he had.
Yeah, with Ruby and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
and I think he is completely ready to just be. He despises
I like
it.
that you say that. Like, he's so over the dark period, because I've never really thought about it like that. But it's like when when you're an alcoholic, or you're, let's say, sometimes religious nuts. Sometimes they become religious nuts because they remember what they were before they found God.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying God is the key to answers here, but
It's just an example.
But in reality, sometimes people need religion to keep them normal.
Exactly.
Some people need that.
Yeah.
Okay. But a lot of times, I'm from a religious family, and my family, a lot of these people, my family members are Flora's blood, were evil, and if if they didn't have religion, a lot of them wouldn't be necessarily good people. I'm just going to say this, okay? and you know what? And what some of my family do, and this is a good example, is they're kind of a little self-righteous sometimes because they need to be in order to protect themselves, because they know that if they don't cling on to that and hold on to it, that they're going to go down that dark path. Right. And I think this is much like being a past alcoholic or an addict. Sam is like, listen, I want to stay away from that. I've been down there again. And
I don't
he's
want
trying to
anything to do with
overcompensate.
that.
He's all, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he was the freaking vessel for Lucifer. I think
Right.
he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I mean, he's been down that road, and he's seen where it goes and what comes from that. So, like you said, he's trying to stay away from all temptation and do just things by the book now. Meanwhile, in my eyes, Dean had always been by the book. Do what your father says. Try and help your brother. Be a vessel for an angel. Things like that. And it's always ended up shittier for him.
Yeah.
So at this point, I think he's like, throw the rule book out. Let's use the Mark of Cain.
Yeah,
let's do some things that are
things,
unorthodox, because it'll finally get some results that by being good, quote, hasn't gotten him.
Right.
So it's that temptation, and Sam sees that this is a dark path, because if he's been with Ruby drinking gallons of blood and stuff like that, he sees where Dean's looking to go.
Right.
And Dean has just put blinders on because he's like, I'm doing this to save my brother.
Right.
Just like, Star Wars reference, Anakin was like, I'm doing this to save people. I'm doing it for the right reason.
It makes me righteous because I'm doing this for the right reason. And it's like, I mean, with this situation though, I think with Dean is, I don't think we're going to see him go the same, because Sam got totally just overwhelmed by that dark side. I don't think Dean will be overwhelmed by it. I think his character he's too strong of a character to be completely overwhelmed by the dark side. So I think, like you said, that gray area, there might be a gray area for him. I don't think it's going to be completely black or I think he'll stop.
Dean's a hard character to understand. I think a little bit more harder than difficult than Sam at times. Maybe I relate more to Dean. I don't know, but like I'm rewatching season 1 recently, and you can see that Dean is always, and we said this before, Dean's always been about family, and that is kind of what keeps him on track.
Yeah,
that's the sole basis of his purpose, is to he's a big papa bear. That sounds very homoerotic, but he's a big papa bear,
right?
And he's there to protect his family, even the adopted family, like Castiel and
Kevin.
And the other girl, the redhead, Felicia Day's character.
Right.
He's always willing to adopt people. He wants to have family.
He wants to have family.
And in season 1, that's what he was about as well. Sam loves his family, but Sam, I think, in a lot of ways, Dean is controlled by emotion.
Yes,
when it comes to family.
very much so.
And that is always going to be his sole purpose, no matter if it takes him to hell and back, literally, or it makes him make a deal with the devil again, or with Crowley or whatever. He's there to protect his family. Sam's a little different. Sam's a good-hearted person who thinks level-headed a lot of times. And he is emotional, especially in season 1. His emotions are a little different. He has, little brother syndrome in a lot of ways.
He does.
He has dad loved you more than me syndrome. He suffers from that, and you see that a lot in season 1. And I think he's very consistent throughout the last 9 years. He's not emotional. Like, he is going to make the hard decisions. We said before that Dean makes the hard decisions. He makes the hard decisions for one reason, and Sam makes the hard, callous decisions because he thinks that's the right decision.
Right.
No matter if you're family or not, I'm going to make this decision because this is for the betterment of mankind. Well, not just you and me, Dean. It's not about you and me. How many times has Sam said that? Sam has preached that in season 1. I'm on season, I think, episode 19 now, and rewatching season 1. I don't know how many times he said that already. He'll do this isn't just about you and I.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I find interesting is like a parallel between Dean and the angels. Like, he was supposed to be the vessel for Michael and all that. And like you said, he needed, like, we're family. This is what I'm supposed to do. In a way, he's needed his own orders to continue on the straight and narrow path. And when those are taken from him, he's doing wrong things for, in his mind, the right reasons. The same way the angels were like, well, if we kill everybody and have the apocalypse, then we'll have paradise in the end. Like, that I think is an interesting aspect, because they both, like, you see how Dean has been is falling in the same angel footsteps, even though he tries to avoid that. He's falling into that. You know, again, kind of plays into the destiny thing that they had in season 5.
Dean uses emotion, okay? And Sam uses analytical calculation. He does. He uses common sense. And even when it came to opening the gates of hell, why would he do it? It wasn't because of emotion. It was because he thought this would be the right thing to do for everybody, humankind. He thought drinking demon blood wasn't going to save his life. It wasn't. He knew it was going to end
lives.
It was going to save lives. It wasn't. That's the biggest difference between Sam and Dean.
Sam always thinks about the bigger picture, where Dean
thinks about family.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could argue that both sides are right. Like, you have to think about the bigger picture, but at the same time, you can't lose sight of those things that matter on the human individual level, like family and things like that.
And that's where I relate with Dean, because I'm all about family a lot of times. I'm like, F everybody else. It's like about me and my family. That's it.
I don't know if this is me, but at the end of this episode, I was on the verge of bro tears, because Kevin really laid it out for them. Like, and the thing that really got me about that is he lays this out, and this is exactly what everyone else is thinking. Everyone's thinking the same thing, dude. Man the fuck up, like, man up, take care of your business, guys. But then at the end, Sam walks away, and Dean's like getting ready to say something, and he's gone, and he's like, okay. Like, it was really it was the last couple episodes. It's been very emotional at the very end of the episode.
We mentioned that these guys needed tough love. Remember, we said that they don't have no one to give them that tough love anymore.
Not anymore.
Maybe Sheriff Jody Mills was one character we kind of pointed to, but Kevin stepped up, and he was the tough love they needed to hear. And I don't think, one thing we know is that the writers on Supernatural don't just do throwaways. I think those words of Kevin is going to end up help to heal them down the road. Yeah. Because if you
don't do it for no reason,
right? Because if you look. Yes, Dean was ready to make up again because he just wants to so bad, and he thought maybe that was going to help, and it was kind of sad that it didn't. I kind of felt for him, but then look at Sam. Sam walked down the hall, and he stopped at the door, and he's thinking, because it got through to him. It did. It did get through to him.
It took a dead kid, the kid that you ex facto killed, to tell you that, look, you guys need to man up, and stop being a bunch of pussies. And just make up, and put the past as the past, put it behind you. Look at the bigger picture together.
Right. And then we still see, though, that Sam, while, he said, like Mike said, he stops at the door and he's thinking about it, but then he still puts on, in his own way, those blinders, like, I got to think about the bigger picture.
He's being stubborn.
He's being stubborn, but at the same time, he knows that Dean won't just immediately change his ways, and he'll start sacrificing for family again.
Yes, I agree. And I think honestly, even no matter how hard it is for Dean, I think Sam's doing the right thing right now. I think he wants to make up with this. He's
proven a point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's trying to. I think he wants to end it, but he's like, listen, you know what? If I go back now, it's going to take back everything I've said, and he needs to know what he did was wrong. And I think he's just trying to stick to his guns, just to show his brother that it's not cool.
He's proven a point.
Yeah, and you know what? Sam doesn't even really know yet about Mark of Cain. Wait till he finds out about that.
Oh man, yeah.
Okay, just wait till Sam finds out.
Yeah, but I mean, look at
he knows about it a little bit.
Well, but wait, he might have a different reaction to it though. Like, Dean didn't do that to save Sam. He did that for the bigger picture, to kill Abaddon. So Sam might look at that in a different way and say, you know what, he did this as not something to save me, but to save multiple people.
Right.
And he made the correct decision by maybe taking on the Mark of Cain. So Sam might have a different reaction than we think.
Yeah.
So
I could also see Sam, though, being like, kind of like what Dean's been trying to say, is like, you can't lose sight of who you are and your morals and as a person for the bigger picture at the same time. Like, are you going to condemn yourself with that mark in order to save everybody? Maybe there's another way. Like kind of like Dean used to say in season 5, we don't have to be vessels. We can find another way.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting.
Hey, Supernatural. There's always another way.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, okay, guys, final thoughts. Mike, what are yours on this episode in general?
Okay. My final thoughts is episode was filled with morsels of plot, which I like. The Veil.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay. This is something that Supernatural has always been able to do very well, in my opinion. Always give you that little bit, even if the story itself isn't the most interesting. They always give you something that the hardcore fans can take home and be like, "Yeah, I'm happy about this." So
Veil.
Yeah, Veil.
they're able to focus on the immediate story at hand, but give us additional story elements to sustain us until we get back to the bigger picture. Like I said, the Veil, Castiel's followers, which is going to open up a new storyline as well. That Castiel is going to he got thrown to that position of authority. So Dean's comments about Crowley is also going to pay off down the road. Overall, my opinion, I felt like we've seen this before. Honestly, overall, I think we've seen this before with the Bobby, the ghost thing. I think we've seen it with Bobby before. It was a respectful way to give Kevin a good send-off and also a good tough love. It was a good way to give the tough love to Dean and Sam. But other than that, the particular writing tool has been used before. I think there could have been – I think using Sheriff Mills might have been a better – tool than using something that they've already. Bobby already said, "Listen here, idiots."
While being a ghost,
while being a ghost, he's already done it. So overall, I think we've seen that before. But that being said, it didn't ruin the episode for me at all. I think acting is a B, writing is a C, and I think I give overall story probably or the overall package a C+.
Okay,
I would have to agree with Mike on a lot of that.
Okay.
I definitely love the lore thing. It's cool how they throw it in there and it's those tidbits and it's like it gets you kind of piques your interest.
Yeah.
I definitely liked the one thing that I really liked was the outlook of the demon that was protecting. He's looking at it like, I'm a demon. I'm a new demon. I should be out killing people or making deals. And instead, I'm protecting these people. And you see you don't get to see that kind of mentality of what the demon. So I really loved that aspect of it. You got to see a different side of demons. I'd have to agree with Mike, though. I gave it maybe a C+. It wasn't a impactful episode, but one thing that they've really been nailing on in the last couple episodes is the very last scene. Just hits you. It hits you right in the gut
every time.
Every time. Doesn't matter if the episode's not in a throwaway, but it's a filler episode. The last scene really hits you in the gut, and you're like, man, now I really want to watch the next episode because of that. So I would say maybe go a little higher C+ because I liked seeing the other side of the demon, and I liked seeing that stuff, and I loved Kevin's. And like Mike said, yes, it has been done before, the whole tough love and the ghost thing. But I mean, Kevin was kind of their new. Since Bobby was their new person, and he was kind of the one I felt that needed to say those things. So I enjoyed the episode. I never not enjoy them, but it was good. But again, I think the main impactful thing was the last part of the episode. Like
what? I don't want to interrupt real fast, but you did make a good point right there about Kevin kind of contradicting what I said, but it does make sense that Kevin probably needed to be the one to say those things. He probably did since.
Sheriff Jody Mills has no idea what's going on right now.
Right.
So I think with Kevin being the one saying, look, and again, we were talking about, well, how long has Kevin been dead? Well, obviously he's been dead for a while. Like you said, it's like 6 months. Maybe. So he's seen all of these things go down.
And he was kind of the catalyst
of it all. Yeah. And I think it's a double thing because he's telling them to get over it. And, because Sam's beating himself up for being basically the one that killed him.
Right.
So that's going to alleviate that pressure there. And then, Dean's saying, "Oh well, it's my fault that he killed you," and it's like he needed to be the one to say that to them. Say, "Hey, stop having a pity party over me." I knew what I signed up for, and I think I really thought it was good that they had him do it. I think I really liked that. So,
I mean, I agree with a lot of what you guys said, but at the same time, I honestly give this one a little bit higher of a grade because to me, it wasn't a throwaway or a filler episode. Because this was one that if I hadn't seen it, next week I'd be like, what the fuck happened? You got Kevin's resolution, him as a ghost, his mom's resolution, Bartholomew's gone, Castiel's got an army starting kind of thing. So while I agree that the fact that Kevin's a ghost, giving them a heart-to-heart has been done before, and I would have liked to see something more original, they executed it well, so I'll give them a pass on that in a way. Because they pulled it off. It wasn't, contrived or anything like that. And because there was so much that mattered in this episode that you had to catch, I'd give it probably a B-. It wasn't outstanding. It wasn't something like a mid-season finale, you know.
It wasn't no Mark of Cain episode.
It was no Mark.
It was no Mark of Cain. Yeah.
But it has little tidbits.
So we're in
of lore.
agreement that was probably one of the best episodes.
episode ever.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dude, everybody does. In fact,
Everyone loves that.
later in the show we're going to discuss an article that was actually
Okay,
written
cool.
about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it has little bits of lore. It has a lot of moving things. Like itself as an episode didn't have a whole lot going on, I guess, because you find one demon they fight, and there's the storage locker's basically it.
Yeah.
But a lot of little things took a big step.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say you'd have to see this one. So I give it a B- on that.
Listen, it's hard for me to grade these
It-
because
it's
as
so
I was
hard.
telling
I
Ryan
just say
before
it's
the
an A.
show, before the show started, I was talking to Ryan that I was like, you know what? Sometimes when I'm watching the episode, it's all good. It was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love this show because I'm a freaking fan of the show.
I turn my brain off,
like,
dude.
Yeah, I'm like, I love this show. And then when I sit down and start preparing for the show, I have to nitpick it and find things, and it little angers me a little bit.
I know, dude.
Because I have to nitpick the show because that's what this show is about. So I go and look and I start finding things. I'm like, okay, maybe that could have been done without, or maybe I don't like that. But as an actual viewer, I don't have problems with the show.
Well, it's the difference between being a viewer and a fan of something and somebody who has to critically think about it. It does ruin some of what you like about it so much.
I'm
you
with
have
Mike,
to pick
man.
at it.
I'm the same way when I go see movies too. I have friends who are ultra critical, and it's like I go in, enjoy the flick for what it is, unless it's just absolute dog crap. But most of the time,
Green Lantern.
Yes, but I still sat there and enjoyed the movie, and then afterwards I was like, okay, that wasn't so great. But entertainment wise, I sit there with Supernatural. I am such a big fan that I sit there and it's like I can't. I have to sit here and try to not nitpick, but pick things out that I thought could have been done better. But it's really hard.
I sit with my iPad now and I write little notes.
Yeah,
and it kind of ruins the show
for
me a little bit.
That's why your final thoughts are always better than Thomas's eyes, because you sit there and you have like notes in front of you. So
you've got like bullet point stuff, and we're just freeballing it.
I'm freeballing it over here.
No, I mean, okay, so with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break, listen to some messages from you all, which we always appreciate. And then we're going to get into the upcoming episode. Is it really hashtag Thin Man?
It said that on the
hashtag.
All right.
Well, we know who the villain is.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. This is my last resort.
All right. First thing we have here is we're gonna. I had to cut through a lot of these this week just because of the fact that we're going to be breaking down a few letters later in the show. But first, let's start with big thanks to everybody that retweeted and tweeted us and letting us know both on our Google Plus and our Facebook and Twitter, letting us know that you guys wanted us to continue the show. It really did. It did help us. It did help persuade us to continue doing the show, not having a network and having to rebrand the network. So we thank you for that very much. First off, let's start with Scarlett at Volta1228. She put last week's episode, Captives. She says, I wonder if there was any significance in Dean's wounds being completely gone in the last scenes. And then she put Mark of Cain side effect. I didn't even think about that. And then she said, wasn't really addressed in the episode script-wise, but usually they keep continuity with wounds within the same episode. Makes me wonder. And that's a good point. It'll be interesting to see how that Mark of Cain ends up playing out in the end. Freya922 tweeted us saying, when we announced that we were going to continue doing our show, she wrote, that is awesome. I'm so glad. I love hearing your Supernatural podcast. It is terrific. Thank you, Freya. Julia Stoner, I believe you say that. Julia Stoner at jpara.06 says, I can't wait to hear the podcast on the latest episode. Really emotional episode. Timeless Lady at Timeless Lady, catching up on Crossroads right now. What do you think about the fact that Dean just told Sam about the mark and Sam's reaction? Because I thought he'd lie about it as always, and I expected Sam to care more. about its consequences, even if he is angry with him. I replied to Timeless Lady saying that it was very casual, like it was almost like, yeah, Mark and Kane, because it kind of reflects the state of their emotions and where they're at as brothers at the moment. So I think it made sense. I think we wanted Sam to care a little bit more. Special thanks to M. Feinbrantz. I hope I'm saying that correctly. M_Feinbrantz at M_live_love_FI. Thank you so much, Carla Jean and Rose at SPN. Very much for always retweeting, tweeting, and keeping us afloat within your own Supernatural family circles. Also, Vaughn Gray, supernatural-news.com. Thank you for posting the show. And that is it. We're going to get back into the regular show.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
This is Michael Flores, and this is just your reminder that you can follow us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/supernatural the Crossroads. Also, you can find us on Twitter. Go to twitter.com/crossroadspn and get involved with the show.
Guys, thank you again for all the messages. We really appreciate it. And we're going to get into a little bit more on that as the show wraps up. But first, we're going to talk about this upcoming episode, #Thin Man, which all I think about is Slender Man.
Yeah, it's got to be Slender Man.
Now, I'm assuming it's #Thin Man. Like that's what it says on all the sites that have the next episode. It's #Thin Man.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if you read the synopsis here. It's a teenage girl is killed, and the final selfie she took before the attack shows a ghostly figure in the background. Looking for something to keep them busy, Dean and Sam head to Washington to find the ghost. While the two interview the girl's mother, Betty, they are surprised when she starts talking about cold spots and fritzing. Okay. When they ask her about bringing up paranormal signs, Betty replies that the supernaturalists who called earlier brought it up. Enter Harry and Ed, the famous
ghost
supernaturalists.
facers.
Yeah. So
that's all I thought about.
That's not what they were called before, right? The Supernaturalists.
It was Ghost Facers.
Oh, it was Ghost Facers? No, wasn't it first the Hellhounds or something? Wasn't the first season the Hellhounders or the
I'm pretty sure it was Ghost Facers, dude.
No, because I just got done I'm rewatching, and it was something else. It was like Hellhound something. Google it really fast, dude. Google it real fast.
Well, here's the this may be the one with Snooki.
Maybe.
Taking a selfie. I mean, come on.
Are we excited about seeing Snooki? Because it seems like we are.
I'm excited for her to die. That's what I'm excited for. No, I think. Well, I think it's funny that they use the hashtag because that's a big thing now. Hashtagging everything.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of like. I think it's kind of fun, but I'm hoping we see Cass again because my favorite episode, French Mistake. He's tweeting as himself, and then he actually tweeted it on his real Twitter, and it's just like it would be really cool.
They were. It was Hellhound's Lair was the website they ran, and then they were the Ghost Facers.
Okay, all right, okay.
Ghost Facers. I don't know why that made me giggle so much.
I thought they were done for. Like seriously,
well, dude, like I said, man, I had no idea that they've been in it since the first season.
Yeah.
I just forgot, man. It's been 9 years.
Yeah.
So I'm watching these reruns on the first season, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I didn't know they were introduced in the very first season.
Do you think they'll be as goony as they were, or do you think 9 years has kind of like?
I think
I hope they're
shit.
still goofy.
I think they're going to tame them down. It's I can kind of figure they're kind of like the what are those guys from X-Files? The little group of guys, they're nerds. I always forget their name.
Oh, dude, I'm not an X-Files.
Well, the thing that I think you might be right onto something, Mike, because after 9 years, and they've ran into Sam and Dean so much and experienced so much with Sam and Dean that they might be like stone-faced now. Like, not to say that they'll be completely stone-faced, but I think they might have a little bit of.
I agree with that because I was comparing it to the Lone Gunmen. That's what they're called from X-Files. The Lone Gunmen were like group of nerd guys that were kind of stupid. They didn't really know as much as they thought they did.
Mm-hmm.
They were a little more educated than these guys. Like they did know something, but they didn't know the alien conspiracy. They didn't know the real thick of it.
Ghostfacers.
Whereas with these guys, I always, since day one, I always figured these guys were like the Lone Gunmen. And the Lone Gunmen throughout the years of X-Files, kind of slowly got what's it called, jaded, and they became tougher, and they became less, we're goofy nerds, yay, we're happy. And I think that's what we're going to see the Ghostfacers, is they're kind of seeing things, they're still being little douchebags because they are.
Right.
That's
you
them.
have to salt the ghost and hit him with iron. Like they're going to say stuff like that. I'm hoping.
But I think they might, I think they're going to be a little more tame. I don't think they're going to be as out there and goofy.
Right. I think the time is going to have worn them down a bit and made them jaded as well. One thing I'd like to see or think would be interesting would be if they have changed still, they're still kind of like interested in doing this or still not completely destroyed. Meanwhile, Sam and Dean, at this point, I'd say have been broken and beaten.
Yeah.
They're totally different.
So maybe it'll be like what it used to be for them, and they'll kind of reminisce in that a way, or maybe it'll be like what they hope to be again.
I just hope that Sam and Dean just make fun of him the whole time. Like that's.
Well, there's a scene that I think I might have played the promo beforehand. I don't know yet. So stupid. But there's a scene where in the preview where they talk about his gun. He has a gun. One of the guys, he shows it. It has like a pearl handle.
So it looks just like Dean's gun.
No, it looks like a girl's gun. Dean makes fun of it. He's like, got a girl gun.
Yes. But
So maybe they're not that.
But doesn't Dean's
sure.
1911 have a pearl handle?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think it does.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he's
But
making
he's
fun
Dean,
of it.
so he can pull it off.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. He's got all cool kinds of etchings in it and stuff.
So overall, I think I don't know about this episode. I'm looking forward to it, obviously. I am.
I'm looking forward to it too.
I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with the Ghostfacers after all these years.
Ghostfacers.
And to see where they are at in life.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see.
Do they got the fame they've always wanted? I mean, that's what I'm. Are they in a?
I really hope.
Reality show? Like,
the one
is
thing
it?
that I am hoping is that they show up dressed like Sam and Dean. Like they look like one of them has the Dean haircut, one of them has long hair like Sam. They're wearing the same outfits from Walmart. Like that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. It'd be so awesome.
Oh man, I don't.
I think it'll be great.
I
dude.
would completely buy that because they were always kind of like, we're better at this
well,
job
you
than
didn't-
you are.
you didn't like.
Have the Ghostfacers seen demons and angels yet, or do they just know about ghosts?
I think they just know about
I
ghosts.
think it's just ghosts.
It would be interesting
Tell
to
me-
see their reaction to like Castiel and Crowley.
Tell me you guys didn't like the episode where all the Sam and Deans are there, like the LARPing thing.
That was fun.
I didn't like the LARPing episode.
No, the one where it's all Sam and Deans. Like they're at the convention for the book.
Season,
I
like,
love that.
4 or
Yeah,
5,
see?
yeah.
Okay, so I want them to show up as Sam and Dean. It'd be great. I hope they act like them too. It'd be fantastic.
Oh man, I love it. I love the pop culture, and again, getting back into the pop culture of Supernatural hashtag. I mean, that is as much.
It's perfect.
That's as much pop culture as you can get right now.
I'm gonna
Right.
hashtag.
I mean, so what are you guys' thoughts on this one? Do you think it'll be good, throwaway, filler, what?
I think it's. I don't know. I think it's going to be a filler episode.
I think it'll be filler too. It might possibly be throwaway, but honestly, I think it's gonna be funny, and I'm looking forward to something a little more funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a filler one as well, but because these guys are back in it, it'll still at least be enjoyable.
It'll
So-
be nostalgic as well.
Nostalgia,
Dude,
yeah.
If they're doing it like anything, the last 5 minutes of the show will be so damn emotional, and it will be like, crap,
And then I'm going to go to bed shivering and crying.
just crying like a big baby.
All right, so with that, guys, we're going to take a quick break, get into some news, and we'll be right back.
All right, Supernatural fans, this is your chance to get involved with the show. Call the Supernatural hotline at 818-394-0279 and become a part of Supernatural The Crossroads. We want to hear your thoughts on the latest episodes and rumors.
Got a brand new tin that been put on top, and it's a made out of human skull.
Guys, we're back. We got an article here that Mike found from the Nerdist.
It was sent to me
Was
by.
it sent to you?
It was posted.
That's even better.
Yeah.
It was posted from in one of the groups that Carla Jean, one of the listeners of our show.
Thank you, Carla.
She posted it in one of her Supernatural groups on Facebook, and she tagged me in it to see if I saw this. And I didn't, and I read it. And this article, which you're going to take us through, Thomas,
Right, yeah.
is probably one of the most intelligent, insightful, like breakdowns of
Damn.
Supernatural
So-
besides us, besides this show.
so not like the article we read
No,
last
this
show.
isn't
yeah.
a troll.
Okay.
This isn't a troll of the week. Although I do have one.
Okay, so I guess I'll just go. So bear with me, guys. Reevaluating Supernatural. The roller coaster that is television quality is often very predictable. Seasons 1 through 3 feel fresh and new because everything is just that, brand new and interesting to the audience. Season 4 drags a little, but ultimately succeeds. Then Season 5 takes the show back to its roots and becomes awesome again. But after Season 5, things usually take a turn for the worst. Arcs feel dull, characters feel tired, series simply lose things that make them great in earlier seasons. And after a while, there's nothing else to do. And that's what makes Supernatural one of the best series on television. Despite losing its original creator and showrunner, Eric Kripke, at the end of Season 5 and going through a bit of a rough patch in Season 6 and parts of Season 7, by the end of Season 8, the series had not only refound itself, but was able to create a new path that never has to end.
All right, really fast. Everything we agree with that pretty much. Everything in that first part we do, right?
Yeah,
Agreed.
much,
Yep,
I think it's
agreed.
everything we've said.
It's literally everything that's come out of our mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wrote this article, actually.
I would say
One of us.
I
is,
wrote this.
One of us is ghostwriting this. I guarantee it.
I don't know. I'd say 4 didn't really drag that much. For me.
I disagree with that as well.
Yeah.
I think 1 through 5 were
1 through 5 are
pretty
perfect.
much perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 6 though I enjoyed. Season 7 I thought was pretty much bleh, the whole thing except for Dick.
I would
Dick was
switch
great.
that sentence. Say that.
Dick was really good.
He really loved Dick.
I did love Dick.
You need to tweet
I
that.
couldn't get enough of Dick, dude.
I love Dick.
I mean,
Hashtag Supernatural.
It does sound,
I am gonna
it
go
does
ahead
sound
and-
stupid though,
I'm gonna
but
tweet that
seriously,
right
dude,
now.
I
Here
said
we
it
go.
before. I think Dick was probably the best part of Season 7.
I mean,
he was a phenomenal actor.
True. While they say rough patch in Season 6 and parts of 7, I would actually flip that and say parts of 6 and
Yes.
rough in 7.
Yes, very much so. All
That's
right,
me there.
next paragraph.
Arguably, the driving force of Kripke's tenure was one question: can you fight destiny? Sam and Dean were chosen vessels of Lucifer and Michael in order to bring about the apocalypse, which made the dynamic interesting towards the end. It seemed Michael and Lucifer had no interest in actually battling. They just felt it was what they had to do because it was the path written for them by God. We know how the rest of the journey plays. Sam and Dean fight off the angels, and Sam goes to hell at the end of Season 5, and a whole new world opens up in Season 6. What makes the show great is instead of cowering in an existence filled with nothing but a never-ending monster-filled procedural, the series...
and again, didn't we not compare it to a procedural
Yeah,
just
we did.
3 weeks ago? All right, go ahead.
We're that good.
like its characters, simply threw out the rulebook. Suddenly, the driving question was no longer, can you fight destiny? It was, what do you do now that you've changed it? What do you do when your future is no longer written in stone? Those questions opened up Supernatural to the world of purgatory, falling angels, power struggles in hell. These are not the dynamics typical of a show in the 9th season of its run. Somehow, through a consistent drive to keep the series at the top of its game, Supernatural cracked the code on television longevity without suffering in quality. That's actually well done.
Yeah, with and I agree, dude. With Season 8 for the most part, particularly the ending of Season 8 and Season 9, they have shown. I mean, dude, shows don't do this.
Shows don't last this long.
Shows don't. I mean, I love shows. I love TV in general, and usually by the 3rd or 4th season, you start not being as excited anymore for the show. You start losing that yippee.
I would say by the 6th. It always seems to peter out by 5.
It
for me.
depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the show. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
True.
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
there have been some shows that have killed themselves by Season 3. So, okay. How many series can you name delivered one of the best episodes of its canon in Season 9? Because that's what happened in Firstborn.
Yep.
Kane, there we go, man.
That is a good
God,
question.
so good.
How many series can you name delivered one of the best episodes of its canon in a season 9? That's just not heard of.
Yeah.
No.
That's true.
So good.
Not only did the hour contain one of the best Timothy, I'm going to butcher this name, Amundsen's?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Performances on record, it actually dared to subvert one of the most well-known biblical stories ever, something that's become typical of the CW series. Suddenly, Cain isn't an envious ass that killed his brother Abel for the heck of it. He's a protector that saved his brother's soul from being damned to hell at the cost of his own morality. What Supernatural realized after season 5 is it doesn't have to be beholden to the idea that the Bible ends at the end of days. Instead, it started looking to the Bible, among other ancient writings such as Greek mythology, for inspiration to build out the question of what happens after the world ends in biblical terms. But in addition to all of this, and most importantly, Supernatural has managed to keep its characters lively. When Dean cries for a fallen comrade like Kevin, you still feel it. When Sam feels lost and betrayed by decisions made for him by his protective older brother, you still care. When Castiel stumbles through another element of humanity, you still laugh. It's true. Molecules.
so molecules.
Even in one of the most recent episodes, Garth, a character that's been all over the map in seasons past, was given a proper goodbye and true love as a freaking werewolf. Now that's some really clever writing. The reason it's important to point out the consistency of a show like Supernatural is because it's proof television can sustain that just because a show is old, it doesn't mean it isn't still kicking. Despite existing on the fringes of the airwaves at the CW, the series actually holds a rare distinction of being older than the network it airs on. Supernatural is a show from which every other series on television can learn something. It's a show that dares to say to the world, age is no excuse for laziness.
So true.
That is a great closing.
It's fantastic.
Dude, it's a great article, man. And I love that it brings it back to the writing because it always falls on the shoulders of the writers.
Dude, that's the thing. It's like,
And shows, dude, just lack creativity and depth in writing nowadays. Like, there are a lot of good TV shows on cable, but when you look to networks, I mean, the shows on network TV are so shallow. This is one of the few shows that aren't really shallow that's on regular network television.
I think I've seen it kind of in several different mediums. I mean, video games are going through a similar process. Naughty Dog, who did Uncharted and The Last of Us, has gone on record saying writing should not be as bad as it always is in games. It's inexcusable.
Yeah.
And I think with the introduction of and the finish of Breaking Bad, it's kind of ushered in this new era of, because every writer I've seen on different websites is like, I wish I had thought of that. George R.R. Martin wishes he thought of that.
Dude,
Hideo Kojima wishes he thought of that.
Breaking Bad is Hollywood's go-to show. Like
exactly.
Hollywood is Hollywood. When I say Hollywood, I encompass the writers and directors and producers. They are all fans of that show. And they all make jokes saying, "Oh, I wish we made that show."
I mean, in the movies right now, Her is getting a lot of acclaim and has won a lot of the Critics Awards because it's the most spectacular or anything like that, but because of how well written it is. You know, this whole era now is about how well can you tell a story when everything has been told before. How do you make it new?
Right.
Everything's hinging on that nowadays, I'd say. And I'm really looking forward to that as somebody who's trying to write themselves, because for the longest time I'm screaming like, this doesn't make sense. You forgot this.
Well, that's why I can't watch certain TV shows on TV. I used to never quit watching TV shows. If I started watching it, this is years ago. Now, in the last 3 or 4 years, if the writing, even if it's something I really was looking forward to, I'm done. If you guys don't care about writing, then I don't give a fuck about your show. Yeah. And that's how I look at it. If you guys are not going to take the time and actually care and give us something that's not elementary and childish and naive, I'm not going to give you guys my ratings.
Exactly.
Wow, that is aggressive.
Well, it's like it's like, you know, I don't want to get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I will. It's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., dude. Like that show had
so much potential.
So much potential. It had the buildup of every movie that's come out before,
writing off of the Avengers,
everything, and it dropped the ball so hard in writing. The writing is so miserable in that show that I cashed out after 3 episodes.
Just relax. The season finale have Robert Downey Jr. and you'll love it again.
So stupid.
No, I mean, that sentence there though, age is no excuse for laziness.
Yes,
that is something that a lot of shows really do need to take to heart.
That's an excuse. That's an excuse for people in general.
It's true.
Yeah, well. I mean, it's
life lessons from Supernatural.
Life lessons from Supernatural.
I mean, that's something that I like the show How I Met Your Mother, but I thought after season 5, halfway through 6, they were getting lazy, especially probably the first half of 8 basically season 8, except for that mid-season twist. Yeah. If anyone's watched, I don't want to ruin it.
I don't watch the show. I'm
Neither do
not
I.
a sitcom fan.
Yeah, that's the last one I'm watching right now because I found it on Netflix and then one weekend was gone, kind of thing. But they have gotten lazy. Even in season 9, people just peter out.
Yeah.
And there's always people who are wanting to write for these shows that don't get in because there's already a staff that just doesn't care anymore.
Yep.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's something about Supernatural that I think has kept the show cohesive. Is a lot of times you'll have a show like Hell on Wheels on AMC, which I enjoy the show, but they have completely exchanged the staff. I mean, you go from something that Walking Dead has suffered from. Is they constantly change the showrunners and the writers, thinking they're going to finally nail it. And obviously, there's an issue with that, how that show is being written, because why are you changing showrunners and writers every year? Yeah. There's a problem. So now with Supernatural, even though they've changed showrunners, Sarah Gamble, who we make fun of, you know, I didn't know this again until season 1. I'm watching. She was a story editor since season 1. Yeah. She's been involved with Supernatural since day 1. Yeah. Robert Singer, the producer, who's also now who has been on the show since day 1. Now he has a more creative touch and role in seasons 8 and 9 with Carver. But and that's what I think we're going to transition over to Tribes, is that's why I think Tribes is going to be good, is because they're not getting a whole new writing staff and a whole new crew. They're saying, hey, we're going to take Robert Singer, who's been on board Supernatural since day 1, and he's going to be the showrunner. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the guy actually directing these episodes and working with the writing staff. And that's why I am looking forward to Tribes, because if they were just bringing in a whole new crew of writers, I might be a little nervous.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the writing staff is new, but the overall leadership of
is someone who's been part of the show for 9 seasons.
And Kripke is a producer on it. Now he's an executive producer, he's an EP, so I don't know how involved he's actually going to be. He might just have maybe a credit because that's his right, because it's Supernatural. Who knows? But if he's involved even a little bit, hell yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So are you guys excited a little bit about the casting of Supernatural Tribe so far?
Because I haven't even looked at it, so I'm a little bit out of the loop here.
They have casted, they're doing the CW thing.
Yeah.
They're casting good-looking people, which is what they
Why I didn't get a call for that, I don't know, but...
There's been a few complaints.
You shaved the beard, man. That was it.
I want to address just the CW issue of... There's some people that are complaining that they're casting nothing but old, alumni from other CW shows, and one guy even tweeted, "CW needs to get new actors. It seems like they have no talent outside their own." And I'm like, well, I think they're actually smart. As a network, what they're doing is creating almost their own casting farm.
Well, what you're doing,
that's smart.
I don't see the problem.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I really like about that is you hire someone that someone's seen on another show.
Yeah, it's smart.
You bring that person who liked that other show and maybe liked that character onto another show.
Yeah.
So it's smart, man. It's smart. It's smart. You're taking someone who may know that person or that actor, and you're saying, man, I'm a huge fan of that person, and you're bringing them onto Supernatural, and then they're like, well, crap, now I have to watch the original Supernatural to know what, and it's super smart.
Yeah, I think it's smart, because so far, I think everyone, except maybe the female lead, I think everyone so far has come from another CW show. In fact, I think the main guy is actually part of the originals from Vampire Diaries. He's one of the main vampire guys. So I think it's smart. They're creating their own little casting farm of talent, showing, look at guys, we have our own farm here. We're farming. We're farming our own talent.
They're going to start sending out Farmville requests here soon.
I mean, it makes sense. It's the same thing as Hollywood. Like, you work with people who can pull it off.
Exactly.
And if they are hungry to do the work and grateful for it as well, that's going to make the whole product end up looking better.
Yeah.
So why not? Especially if you know these people and all the parts are there for it to make sense. Why not do it?
Exactly.
Especially on a network that's not as big as something like HBO, or now I'd say even AMC. So why not do that? So, I mean, are you guys excited, though, in general?
I am very much excited. Now I'm going to go home and Google the casting to see what they look like.
Mike, yourself?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a lot's riding on it.
A lot is
this backdoor pilot better be damn good on April.
When are we getting
20th?
This? April 20th?
April 20th, I think, or the 20th episode, which I think is April something.
I mean, it's got backdoor in the name of it, so it's got to be good, right? I mean,
that's a porno, right, guys?
It's a porno, bro.
It's a porno.
So we're all looking forward to that, but we're going to take a quick break here and then get into some letters, actually, from listeners.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. guys, and we're back with a couple letters from the listeners. Mike, tell us a little bit about this.
Oh, snap. This is the bonus hour, dude.
This is.
Bonus.
There are some advantages with not being on a radio network and just being a podcast. Now we have no restraints on time.
Or it would just be one of those dick shows that goes over on time anyway.
All right, so this is something new. We haven't had a chance to do this. We've been wanting to. We were actually going to do this during the break and kind of get into letters.
Yeah.
Now, this is different than the shout-outs. This is actually going to be I had to wade through a lot of these letters, guys. But I found two that I really wanted to address just because of the fact that they kind of drive home some of the things we were talking about earlier in the first part of the show today. And a few of you guys, just to let you guys know, there were some people surprised on the shout-outs a couple weeks ago. It's like, oh my God, you said my name. I didn't know you were going to say my name on the shout-out. I would have said something a little bit more smarter than that, you know? And I said, listen, guys, we're not, if you want, I understand that if you do not want your name,
makes sense nowadays.
Just say, hey guys, I don't want my name on this.
Let us know.
Because if you guys give us shout outs, I want to show that I want the whole point of the show is to have that audience participation. And I love the audience participation. But if you guys don't want me to say your name or whatever, just say, guys, don't mention my name. You want to take us into this first letter?
Sure, yeah. I'll try it.
Okay.
So I just found your new podcast, Supernatural: The Crossroads, a few weeks ago and wanted to let you know how much I've enjoyed it. It's nice to have a guy's opinion on Supernatural. I don't always agree with the thoughts on the show, but I do like to hear them. I did want to comment on one thing that was talked about on your latest episode concerning the Purge. I honestly feel that people really aren't even listening to Sam and what he's saying. At the end of the show, Sam didn't say that he would never save Dean. He said that under the same circumstances or same situation, I can't remember, he wouldn't try to save Dean. The same circumstances being generally that he wouldn't do something to Dean that Dean was opposed to save him. And if you doubt that, she's got reference here, see the Season 3 episode, Time is on My Side. Or, to get to specifics, Sam wouldn't try to save Dean by tricking him into being possessed by an angel, especially one that he knew nothing about. Because as they have said repeatedly, angels are dicks. Sam has been possessed many times and knows how horrible it is. And I think he loves Dean enough that he wouldn't put Dean through that. After all, some things are worse than death.
Now, there are more to this letter, which we're going to get into. I want to break this down.
You want to start here, though?
Yeah, let's, with this first paragraph here, I agree with what she's saying for the most part. I do. I don't want people thinking that we were saying Dean, did it. Because when Sam said he wouldn't do the same thing as Dean.
Right.
I think people did take that the wrong way. I don't think Sam was saying, dude, I'm going to let you die. But again, going back to what we said, Sam looks at the bigger picture and looks at listen, I'm not going to risk everyone's life because of you.
I took it in the way where if the complete roles were reversed and it was the same situation and Dean had been through everything that Sam had been through, but Sam somehow knew that Dean was done, he would have just let him go.
Right.
And that's the way I took it. I didn't take it as saying, I hate you, I wanted to let you die.
Yeah.
I took it as, if you'd been through everything that I've been through and you knew what I've been through and knew what I was going through, you would have let me go too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree
so
I
agree with what she's saying there.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't necessarily agree with is Sam, he's all, where was it at? Where she says that, let's see. She said that Sam didn't know, or Dean didn't know anything about the angel. If you guys remember, he called Castiel.
He got a vouch.
Yes, it's kind of, he didn't do his due diligence, perhaps, maybe getting.
He got a vouch for.
Journalists, they got to get 3 references in order to write the article.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to do that in high school.
He didn't get 3 references. He only got 1 from Castiel. He did
check. He did check.
Maybe he didn't do the 3 references like all journalists.
Probably. How's this angel? Is he a dick?
Yeah. Do you know this guy?
But yes, he did do it a little bit. Maybe he was a little too anxious and giddy to save Sam without really thinking. He did jump into it.
Well, I mean, one thing that, she says that I agree. I don't think that Sam would never save Dean. He's done that before. He's tried before. But the thing is, Sam has basically says that he would respect Dean's wishes. Dean says, I'm going to be the one to die with a gun in my hand in season 8.
Right.
So Sam is respecting that aspect. Meanwhile, Dean is abusing his power
Right.
in a way in order to be selfish and save Sam. The reason I think so many people took it oh, man, Sam's a dick, is because on paper, saying I wouldn't save you, that exact
That's
sentence,
a dick move.
is really cold coming from your brother.
Right.
Not that he's saying I would never save you ever, but were the roles reversed in the same situation, because Dean said I'd like to die, Sam would respect that despite how much it hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
Dean couldn't do that.
Right.
So I understand her standpoint of, Sam's not exactly the bad guy. But then again, you have to remember, this show is basically the story of Sam from Dean's perspective.
Right.
We only ever see that much of Dean. Sam's always kind of been
right.
Mysterious, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, I'll get into the second half here. It's getting harder and harder for me to feel any sympathy for Dean. I felt it was a horrible situation to be put in. Obviously, Dean would want Sam to live. And we have seen what lengths Dean would go to for Sam to live. But it doesn't help Dean's case with Sam for him to keep saying that he would do the same thing again if necessary. I would imagine that Sam hears that and just cringes. After all, how would you feel if someone you loved and trusted tricked you into a situation that you were violently opposed to, and after you finally got out of the situation, they kept saying that they would do it again if they felt it necessary, no matter your feelings about it?
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
I disagree with the fact that I do feel sympathy for Dean because, I mean, like I said, I like Dean and Sam probably equally. I like them the same.
Yep.
So I do feel for Dean, but I also feel for Sam. I have the ability to see it from both point of views.
Right.
And when she said, how would you feel if you basically said you'll do it again? Yeah, dude. Like,
I've done
hey,
that.
Dude, hey, listen, dude, I'm very sorry for what I did, but you know what? I think it was the better decision. And guess what? I would do it again, despite that you don't like it. Yeah, I get that. Why
it
Sam's
could be
upset.
Yeah, it could be completely, yes, it would be completely annoying, and it would be borderline disrespectful. But in my mind, if I did something and I said, you know what, that was the best choice of the two choices that I had, and I would stick up for myself and say, look, I made the right decision. I'd make it again if I had that to make that decision. Right. And you know what? I think that shows that Dean is strong on his point that he thinks he did the right thing, and he would continue to do that.
Yeah.
Now, again, obviously Sam sees that as being possibly a dick move, saying, well, I didn't want you to do that. Why would you do it again?
Right.
But you have to look at it. You have to look at it from Dean's standpoint. He truly felt that he was doing the right thing. So if you truly feel like you're doing the right thing, you would most likely do that thing again.
Well, I mean, that's why it's good writing, but you can argue both sides.
But look at
Right.
look at Castiel. He thought he was doing the right thing too.
That's true.
And
Well, so did
he learned from his mistakes.
Exactly. He learned from it,
So
but he
hopefully
doesn't say
Dean
he
will
would
learn.
do it again.
Right.
So.
That's true.
I mean, and that I could see where she gets the point of everyone's like, oh, it's so sympathetic for Dean. But if again, it's one of those things that take out the emotion of why he did it and him saying, I would hurt you again for my benefit. That's also
that's
a dick
also
thing
a
to
dick
say
thing,
as a
yeah.
brother.
True. Right.
So,
all right.
What
go
a double-edged sword.
ahead and finish.
anyway, I just wanted to comment on that. It's really amazing to me that the default position in Supernatural fandom is to feel so sorry for Dean and think Sam is being so mean to him. Okay, I'm trying to read ahead.
Yeah, no, you can read all that. Just
Yeah. And after all that, if I could ask one favor, there is a minority, but vocal and way over-invested minority, of Dean fans who really go overboard with any position that are not 110% Dean. If you should actually read my part of the letter on your show, please don't mention, my name. I would rather not get involved in any of that. Thanks so much, and thanks for your show. I really do enjoy it.
All right, here's where I come into play here. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I am I am a huge Dean fan. Again, I'm like Mike. I like both of them equally, but I definitely like Dean a lot.
You probably relate to him a little more.
I relate to him a little bit more. Of course, I don't have a brother, but I can relate to the things that he does. And
you're very family eccentric.
I am very family centric. My family is very, very close to me. So looking at it at this standpoint, I do sometimes feel sorry for Dean because his background is like me, very family eccentric. I would do anything for my family. And yes, it is selfish. I think it is extremely selfish of Dean to do things against Sam's wishes because he needs Sam. It's a codependency there.
Yeah.
And Sam doesn't admit it a lot, but he needs Dean too. And he doesn't admit it. And he wants to play the bigger guy and say, look, I don't, not that he's saying I don't need you, but he thinks he doesn't need Dean emotionally.
I honestly don't think Sam does.
I think he does. And here's
I don't. You know why I don't think Sam does? Because if you remember, I don't think he. Okay, listen. There's a difference. I'm going to compare this to my older brother. Okay, Sam loves his brother. I don't think he does. I think he probably
There's no
loves.
doubt
I
about
think he
that.
loves
Yeah.
Dean just as much as Dean loves Sam. Except there's two different types of people. Dean is a different type of person. Sam, for example, Sam knows how to live on his own. I don't think he has codependency. He went to college and left his entire family and their way of life.
I'm not saying,
because he says, I want to do something different.
What I'm saying is he doesn't need Dean the same way Dean needs him.
Right. Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. So I'm saying is Sam needs Dean because he needs someone to make those other types of family decisions for him, because he doesn't have that aspect, because he is still so caught up in the fact that Dad loved Dean more than him, that if he lets Dean go, essentially, or Dean dies, he doesn't have any of that aspect. Yes, he could go on and live his life. He could. But he doesn't have any of that aspect. He has no family if Dean goes away. And he loses that aspect of his life. So in a weird way, he needs Dean to be there to make those family decisions for him, because he can't do it himself.
Look at what Dean did. And this is a good example, again, showing the difference between Dean. Look at Dean did. When Sam died, supposedly, and he was in hell, what did Dean do? He adopted a family right quick. Okay, he needs that. And that's nothing wrong. That's not bad of him. Look what Sam does. Last year, he goes off on his own. Was it last year? Off on his own, doesn't try to make a family. He accidentally stumbles upon a woman who's similar to him.
Yeah, between 7 and 8.
Okay. Yeah, it's a different situation. He didn't go looking to have. I mean, Dean went right to a family. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I'm here. I need a family. Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong like that, because you know what? I'm like that. I need family. I need to be with a family, even if it's like, the Cazador family, a group. I need a brotherhood. I need a family. That's how I am wired. My older brother, he left at the age of 18. Okay, and he's 36 now. Left at the age of 18, went to New York. We have no family in the East Coast. Went there, loves us, sends us messages, emails, comes to visit. But you know what? He doesn't need any of us.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he doesn't love us. But he's just, some people are just wired differently.
Here's the thing for me is I'm sort of like your older brother, but in the fact that I still need, like you said, Cazador family or some type of family, or my wife and I play tons of softball. We have family there. It's I'm the same way. I can leave, but I still need to grasp onto something. And I think that's I think in that, with the way that Sam is he would go on. He would be able to go on without Dean. But there would be something lacking in his life that and I think later he would understand that.
I'm kind of from the opposite.
I said, Sam would survive. I don't think Dean would be able to do it on his own.
That's the thing is that Dean needs somebody else in his life. His entire life, he's needed somebody as emotional support. And like Mike said, that's fine. That works for him. The problem is he doesn't go out and build new relationships, because everything one he's had has failed. Except Sam. So he's clingy, essentially. Mm-hmm. He clings to that all the harder. Meanwhile, Sam has gone off and had life with college and life with I can't even remember her name, the girl from
He's always left and been on his own 2 feet.
He's able to stand on his own and live his life. And for me personally, I love friends and family, but sometimes it's nothing personal. I just need my space by myself. And I can live fine. It's not that I don't care about these people. It's that sometimes I don't do well with the whole group dynamic, So from Sam's perspective, he's like, I can live just fine, and he wants Dean to be able to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes Sam doesn't realize that Dean can't just make that leap in personality.
If you look, again, going back to season 1, Dean even said in, I think the episode with Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it, when the ghost I forget what they're called now, but the crazy ghost that rip people to shreds. You remember the ones that shred them? Yeah. Okay, what he says, he's all, dude, when he says, Sam says, I just want to find Dad and move on. We gotta find Dad, kill this ghost, kill the demon, yellow eyes, and then I gotta go back. And Dean's all like, wait, what?
You're just gonna go back?
You're just gonna go back to college? He's all like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to college. And Dean's all like, and then he says, well, what's wrong, Dean? What's wrong with that? And he's all, dude, this isn't just about Dad. This is about you, man. Like, I need, and he said, basically, I need you. This isn't about just killing the demon. I wanted you with me. I needed you.
True, but at the same time, I'm also from.
And I don't think that's a weakness. I think that's just a character trait. I think he needs family and differently than Sam does. That's all.
He needs family or somebody more than Sam does, true. But I'm also of the belief that you shouldn't sacrifice your own happiness and what you want for other people, even if they are family. Sometimes family can drag you into things you don't want to be part of. Dean needs to. Both parties need to learn and respect that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a tough situation. That's why it's such good writing, because I always care about these brothers. But it seems like no matter what, one of them's going to be a little unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's life.
Letter 2.
Letter 2. So, hey, I'm gonna.
This one is a little. You want me to read this one?
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
She's from Puerto Rico, so the English. She actually apologizes. A little bit of broken English, but
Nothing wrong with that.
she's all, "Hey, salutes from Puerto Rico. Let me just start with saying I love what you guys are doing. Keep up the good work. It's good to know there are other fans out there that are not just either bitching about the show, not being the same, or only talking about how hot the Winchester brothers are.
They are hot, though. We talk about
that.
We talk about their six
Not
packs.
just that.
Or who is better of the two, or which one of them gets better plot lines is a nice change in the fandom. I just wanted to comment to you something that occurred to me, and it's the fact that Sam had said to Dean, I was ready to die. I think twice now, and that reminded me of when Dean was about to die on season 2, and the dad saved him by selling off his soul. When he was saved, he had already given up to the Reaper, Tessa. He had agreed to move on, and then when Tessa reappears, he said to her that he felt off for a whole year, like there was something missing. And I think that at least a part of Sam being so hard on Dean, apart from Dean's selfishness of not wanting to be alone, no matter the cost, and then comforting himself by basically saying, I do more good than do bad, or the we are family excuse, is that Sam had already given up to a Reaper, and not just any Reaper, but to death himself. I don't know. Maybe I am reading too much into it. I hope you guys understand my little rant in English is not my native language, and I am not very good with English grammar. She used Google Translate for a bit of help. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you.
That is
Good
awesome.
job.
Yeah.
Thank you. What was her name? I believe her name is Carla. She didn't say I couldn't use her name, but thank you, Carla. I believe it. Let me check to make sure. Carla Rodriguez. Thank you. And that means a lot that you're from Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
and you even went to the point of Google Translate to make sure you get your message out.
That's awesome.
And that's
I
one
have
reason-
used Google Translate before for homework, and it's not easy. So, yeah.
So I think
Good
she's,
job, though.
I think
Yes.
she's like the other letter. I think she's trying to get to the point of Sam. She's
Yeah.
trying to say that Sam's not in the wrong only, and we agree with that as well.
Yeah, he's not completely wrong. It's just Sam is probably right, but from emotional standpoints, it sounds like Dean is
I
right.
just,
Yeah.
I just think with what the way that Sam is going about this, and we talked about earlier in the show, is he's trying to prove a point to Dean, and I think they'll be back together in hunky dory, in the next couple episodes.
I hope so.
I hope so too, because it's much more fun that way. But I think Sam is trying to prove a point. Like, look, man, you screwed up ultimately very, very badly.
Yeah.
And you need to know that you screwed up. And there's going to be no going back real quick from that.
Yeah.
So I think
it's not a quick fix.
It's not a quick fix. And I think and it hurts. It hurts to see them like this. It really does.
Well, you know what, and then we got to probably wrap the show.
Yeah.
But the writing of this season, it's different when it comes to this. Usually they're down and out for one episode.
a couple episodes at most.
This is different. They've dragged this out now for what? 5 episodes? 6 episodes? Maybe
5 or 6.
I mean, and who knows how much longer it'll be. I'm okay with that for the time being because we've never seen it before.
Yeah.
We've never seen, and I think it drives home something we've never seen. And it is creating a division in the fandom. It's creating division within the show. And I think that's good writing. If a writing can get this type of, people in a tizzy,
Yeah.
I mean, that's good writing. That's what we want.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it feels much more realistic.
Yeah.
TV shows, they fix major family problems in
one
a
episode.
week or two,
Yeah.
within 30 minutes.
Or
Yeah.
sometimes in the third act.
Exactly. Real
It's true.
life, however, is much more convoluted. It does not end well. Someone's
It
always
doesn't-
still
it's
hurt.
not a
And
quick
sometimes
fix.
it doesn't ever get fixed.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that the writing has really knocked it out of the park right now, because they have captured that feeling of real life emotional drama between family members.
Well, look how we alone, 3 guys who are from completely different backgrounds, can actually find comparisons with our own childhood and life.
Yeah.
I don't think I could actually do that. Maybe the first couple seasons, maybe. But the fact that us 3 guys who are completely different backgrounds can actually relate to some of this, they're doing a good job with writing.
for some reason, I just can't do that with Walking Dead, and I don't understand
dumb.
why there's no zombie.
So dumb.
Because they changed everything between seasons 1 and
Let's not get into that.
yeah,
show,
well, I'm
please.
going to
Let's
stop.
not get into that. Yeah.
Anyways, I think
that's
going to
do it for us, guys.
We will, Thomas, be back next week.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
I think we have 3 shows in a row, and I think they may go on a little break again.
Really?
A lot of shows do that.
I think
no.
they may
It's a
go
week.
on a 2-week break or a week break. It might just be 1 week. But either way, guys, we'll decide whether or not we'll do a show anyways. Maybe we'll get into
Right.
letters or whatever, or we'll just take another break. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
that's going to do it here for us at Supernatural: The Crossroads. Once again, thank everybody for sending us
Yes.
tweets.
Thank you so
letters
much, guys.
Like this. We appreciate it a ton.
you guys can find us on iTunes and Stitcher.
Yeah.
Search Supernatural Crossroads. If you guys are on iTunes, please leave us reviews. Write us a review. Give us the 5 stars, I think it is, so that we can make sure we can be seen by more people. The more reviews and the more comments you guys leave on Stitcher, on each show, and the reviews, it
really
you
helps.
Have no idea
The
how much
more
it
you
helps,
help,
guys.
the more we can do.
We can boost by every comment, we'll probably be seen by additional 3,000 or 4,000 people. Okay, which is a lot.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
thank
ton.
you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You little maggot. You are no longer a part of this story. Hey, ass butt.